Welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Chrissy. I'm Joel, flying solo today, and today I'm going to be talking about my goals for 2023. Give you some updates on those, and maybe something special is coming up also this month as well. So we're just going to kind of just dive right into it, talk about my goals. I do have 3 or 4 goals this year that I'm looking to do. A lot of them pertain to running. That is something that's very close to me, but it's really something that fills up my goals as well because I like doing it. Anyway, one of the things I'm shooting for this year, one of my goals is to strive for a sub 20-minute 5K. I've never done that before. My fastest 5K, which is 3.1 miles, fastest 5K is I ran 20 minutes and 56 seconds a year and a half ago at the Turkey Trot in Oviedo. And so my race for doing the 5K in under 20 minutes is going to be the same race. In Oviedo, I know the course. It's pretty flat and should be able to get pretty close to that. I didn't feel like I was going to get anywhere close to a PR back in November when I ran it this year. But I actually did, and so I didn't do the PR, but I was like 4 seconds away from doing a PR. That kind of motivated me to really kind of hit the speed work again and start working on a sub 20-minute 5K. Now, that'll be coming up in November. I'm not training for that yet because one of my other goals for this year, I'm right in the middle of training for that. And I'm probably going to put that into another video because I don't want this video to be, like 20-30 minutes long. And there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about as far as Boston goes. I'm going to kind of hit on that in this video because it is one of my goals. And then I'll follow it up with another video just about my Boston training, kind of like I did with when I did the Dopey Challenge back in January and the training leading up to that. I did one video a month for that. But I'm going to go a little more in depth with how I train and how my results are as far as my training goes, kind of my routines that I work through, because I want all you guys to know that, because I know you're all interested. Okay, so my second goal is to run 200 miles in a month, and I didn't figure I'd get to that until at least March, because there's 31 days in March. However, as of the recording of this, it's February 14th, exactly halfway through February, and I'm already at 100 miles for the month. So I'm on pace to do 200 miles in February with only 28 days. So I'm pretty excited about that. That motivates me to get up and get out the door every morning to get those runs done so I can see if I can do the 200 miles in February. That's a challenge. So we're working on that, but we're trying to get there. And then another goal is to run what I call run the year. And so I'm trying to do 2,023 miles in 2023. Right now I'm on pace to do 2,100 miles. So I'm really on pace for that. I know it's only February. You can't win it in February, but you sure can lose it. You can get so far behind in your running that, or your exercising, whatever you do as far as your goals go, that you can't catch back up. And so I've got to take these early months. I was a little bit behind last month, but I'm making up for it in February. And I'm back on track to finish at least 2,023 miles or more in 2023. And then another goal was to get 500,000 steps in a month. And I did that in January doing the Derek's Journey Steps Challenge. We were captains for Derek again in January, and I did over 500,000 steps. So I'm setting a new goal for the Steps Challenge. But we are, again in March, going to be captains of the Chain Breakers team. And I'm going to see if I can shoot for 750,000 steps, because I will be right in the meat of all of my training for Boston. And I really think I can do that. I really think I can get 750,000 steps. We'll see. I did 504, almost 505,000 in January, and I really think, and that's for taking some days off because I did the Adobe Challenge. I took 4 days off after that, and then some days here and there um, throughout the month as well. So I really think I can do 750,000 steps in March, but we'll see. So that's a new goal for me since I hit that other one. Um, Another one of my goals is to read 12 books in the year. I did read Judgment Cometh and That Right Soon by Scott Pratt. We've been reading that series. This is book 8 in the series. One more book to go in that series. But I didn't finish my book for January, so I'm reading it as well. And I'm on pace to finish it this month as well. So 2 books this month. And the book I'm reading this month, that I tried to read last month, is this book by Matthew Carey. It's called Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. And it's a memoir of his time beating alcohol and drug addiction, and his time on Friends, and people he met along the way, and things he did along the way. And it's really interesting. It's got some pretty spicy language in it, but if you can get behind that, if you can get past that, it's really gotten to a really interesting part of the book, how he got the part of Chandler on Friends, and it's been pretty interesting just reading between the lines, reading between the swear words, and getting actually to the meat of the book. So it's been pretty interesting so far, and I am on pace to finish that this month as well. And then another thing that we're doing that we already mentioned is the Project 50 Challenge. That we're going to be doing for the next 50 days. We started it yesterday on the 13th, and it will run through the first week in April. We wanted to have it in before we actually went to Boston, so we didn't have to. We weren't encumbered with having to do these things while we're traveling. And so this will end first week in April, and a couple of goals. Wake up before 6 a.m. Done. I already do that, so that's not a challenge. Morning routine with no distractions. 1 hour after you wake up. The first hour after you wake up, no distractions, no social. Can't say that. Someone else can't say that. No social media, and that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, any of that. None of that. No sports apps like ESPN or news apps or anything like that. No distractions. I do use my phone because there's a solitaire game that I play. It's already in my routine. I play that every morning just to kind of wake my brain up a little bit. I use my phone when I'm actually sometimes reading books. When I don't have a physical book like I do now, I read my books on my phone, on my Kindle app. So I'd have to use it for that. So I'm not going to totally put the phone down. I'm just going to not do social media and things like that distract us from doing other things. So no distractions for the first hour. You're going to exercise for an hour. And if I run over, 7 or 8 miles, that's going to be an hour for me. But I'm also continuing to work in a core routine. I'm going to start tomorrow, which will take up another 20 minutes. And then I do some exercises that I was doing when I went to the torture chamber. And y'all don't know what that is because we never talked about it. But I went to physical therapy for my shoulder back in December. And they left me with some exercises when I was done with that, and gave me some stretchy bands that I can use as well to kind of stretch out my shoulder and neck and things like that. So I'll be using those as well. And then read 10 pages a day in a book. Done. That's how I'm keeping on pace and getting this book done. And then dedicate 1 hour towards developing a new skill. Now, for me, that new skill is learning Spanish because I do have a lot of Spanish speakers in my kitchen. We have hired some that speak very little English right now. Some of them are learning English, but I'm also trying to learn my Spanish as well and kind of meet them halfway. And then follow a healthy diet. And for me, what that means is moderation. We don't demonize food. There are no good foods and bad foods. As long as you eat it in moderation, get good exercise. I haven't, since I started losing weight in 2010. I've lost at my lightest. I lost up to 50 pounds and kept it off for over 12 years now, 11 years now, 13 years now, and without really changing my diet other than moderation and portion control. And I go to my doctor and I do uh, lipid panels every year, and they always come back. Good. So he's never told me to change my diet, other than my doctor did tell me, not my last doctor's appointment, but doctor's appointment before that, my cardiologist told me I need to eat more red meat, which I thought was strange. But we don't eat a lot of red meat. We cook a lot with chicken, and when we work in a chicken shack, then you don't eat a lot of red meat. But we have started working some more red meat into our diet, just because the doctor told me to do that. Eating in moderation, portion control, things like that are what's helping me to keep the weight off and to continue the journey that I'm on. And then track your daily progress in a journal, and I'm doing that. The journal is at work right now, I think. Anyway, I am doing that, and just making sure I get those things done every day, because if I don't write them down, I'm going to forget. I'll do write those things down, so I make sure that I get those things done. So that's where I am. Those are my goals for the week, for the month, for the year. Drop me some comments below. Let me know what your goals are, how you're doing on those. We'd love to hear that. So if you want to keep up with some more of my health journey things, I'm going to have Chrissy put up a video here I did from when I did the Joby Challenge. That way you can keep up with that and you can see how I did there. But with that said, that's going to do it today for the Long Run with Joel and Chrissy. I'm Joel, flying solo today, and don't forget it's the long run. Give yourself a little grace. We're also captains of the Beast Mode team. Not Beast Mode anymore. It's the Chain Breakers. Sorry about that. You can edit that out if you want to.